Indiana, Ohio State -4. Connor, what do you think here?
Ohio State by 10.
Oh!
I'll keep it short and simple.
I think that's a little biased. I think you have a little bit of that Indiana from last year in your brain.
No, I don't.
I'm fighting that right now. I thought Ohio State was going to blow them out, and then I'm like, wait a second. I'm just saying this because of what Indiana was last year.
I think Ohio State is a better team. I think the talent level is above that of what we've seen from Indiana this year. I think Mendoza's great. I truly do, but I'm going to pick Ohio State here, just solely because I think this is the year Ryan Day kind of gets those monkeys off his back of, beat Michigan, we're going to win the Big Ten title, and then maybe they choke in the playoffs.
I know. That's what I was going to say. That's exactly how this works. Dylan's getting a win at some point. Ryan Day's not sweeping this and looking like one of the greatest teams in college football history. Like they're going to choke in the playoffs eventually. Dylan's going to get the last laugh, I think. But I'm also picking Ohio State in this game.
Oof.
The issue I have. Look at the better defenses Fernando Mendoza's played against. He throws a critical interception or multiple against all of these tougher defenses. He's going to do that against Ohio State in this game. Now, I think there's another interesting factor in this game, too. Both these quarterbacks, this is their tryout for the Heisman as well. Now, a bit of a tougher tryout for Mendoza. You're going to have to play against Ohio State's defense, which is much better, than Indiana's defense. Indiana's still good defense. But the Sayan has been much more consistent. Completion percentage, he had the bad pick against Michigan and everything. Mendoza has had back-breaking picks. Yes, he's recovered from them, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it against an Ohio State team. That's what's going to be that's going to be the breaking point in this game is Mendoza throws a bad pick to end this one.
So, Connor, just so you know, usually on Sundays or Mondays we record a recap show where we record everything that happened the last week. And Carter, you said something. I think I posed the question. Coming off the Ohio State-Michigan game, are we still sure that this Ohio State defense is as good as what everybody says, based on the competition and the offensives they have played? And you said, we can't say that. And now we're saying that this defense is going to give Mendoza troubles because they're so good.
I can say that this Ohio State defense is as good as Penn State,
Iowa,
Oregon. We can say they're on that level.
Well, Oregon was a nice little three time zone travel, and they won 30-20. So that makes me feel better about Indiana.
Okay,
they arguably could have lost that Iowa game. I think what Carter's getting at, and what I agree with, is if you're Mendoza and you throw one of those back-breaking picks, you might not get a chance to rectify that later in the game. Like you make a couple mistakes against this Ohio State team, it might be over.
I would not agree with that. That's what I will say. I would not agree with that. I think Indiana, he can afford to make one or two of these mistakes. I think we're taking it for granted. Like, we're just assuming that Ohio State's going to score on every single drive against Indiana. And no, Indiana's going to have opportunities to make up if there's mistakes. And I think Julian Sayin makes a couple mistakes of his own. They can't run. They're 72nd in rush EPA. They can't run the ball. Regardless of what just happened against Michigan, you want to look at one game and say, all of a sudden this team can run the ball. I think this Indiana team is much more well-balanced. They run the ball better. I think the passing game is comparable. Indiana's defense, good. Not great, good. I think that Indiana is well-matched here.
You know what's interesting? We talk about all these top teams in the college football playoff. Like, how many of these teams do you feel great about their run game?
Not a ton.
Missouri?
I love them.
Well, we're not talking about the NIT or CBI tournaments.
The Crown. They're in the Crown.
Missouri, Notre Dame.
That's a good point. That's a good point, Carter. Yeah, not a ton. BYU, clearly a playoff team. Not a great run game. Miami, clearly a playoff team. Not an amazing
run game's elite. One bad game against Texas Tech. Other than that, one of the top run teams in the country. Bear Bachmeier. I don't want to hear that kind of slander. But anyhow, give me Ohio State. Ohio State wins 27-20.
Yeah, I'm taking Ohio State here, too. I got them, I'll say 24-14, Ohio State. And just 1 point on Indiana. They played Dante Moore in middle of October. Other than that, best quarterback they played, Luke Altmaier, maybe? If Julian Satan's truly a Heisman. Yeah, if Julian Satan's truly a Heisman, I think we find out this week.
Grunkmeyer?
I think this is Curt Cignetti revenge game. You had Will Howard going low, stomping on the cigarette on the sideline last year. I think that this game is more evenly matched.
In this game. Yeah. What? Huh?
What?
Huh? Nothing.
What?
You were talking
Indiana-
about Connor and I had bias from Ohio State, and then it's fine.
I don't know if I said that, but Indiana, I think they win. I think they win big. I think Cignetti runs it up if he can, and I think he will be able to. I think Indiana 35, Ohio State